Okay, so area of a parallelogram. Remember we said we're not going to talk about rectangles because you probably covered that 4th, 5th grade, if not sooner. But with area of a parallelogram, look on the front board. What is our formula for a parallelogram? Okay, A equals BH, which means B times H. B stands for base, and H stands for height. Now, if you remember, we talked about earlier, when you're measuring height, it can't be a slanted line. Your height has to be a perpendicular line, which means it has to form a right angle. So you'll see a lot of times, like here, they've drawn our height for us because it has to be the distance from each base of your parallelogram. Sometimes it's outside the parallelogram, sometimes it's inside. All right, but it will always be the straight line. It will never be a slanted line because we don't measure our height when we're standing like to the side, crooked. You got to be standing straight up and down, okay? When we find area, and this is where I told you, we're going to force you to study your formulas by writing them. Every time you set up a problem, I want you to start off. Your first line will be your formula, okay? So if we know this is a parallelogram, our first line is going to say A equals BH. That's area is equal to base times height. Do I have any numbers here? No. So how am I going to find them out?
Using the squares.
Yes, I'm going to use the grid and I'm going to count the squares. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm counting how many it goes straight across. So my base would be 7 units. What about my height? 3. Very good. It's going to go as long as it connects base to top. Guys, it could be any of these lines in here. But do you see how the height from the bottom to the top is 3? Hey, will somebody open the door real quick? Okay. So area is equal to 7 times 3. So what would my area be?
21.
Okay. And when we don't have a label here, we're going to say this is units squared because our area is always in square units. All right, that makes sense? All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, and we'll come down here so I have a little bit more room. Again, my first line is my formula. A equals BH. All right. What's my base? Very good. 59.3. What's my height? 24.9. Okay. Now, do I really want to multiply that out? Not really. Happy New Year. Right here. Okay, this guy's going to be your new best friend. Now, back to me. Listen up. If you do not have your calculator today, do not worry. Okay? I will tell you, it is going to be in your absolute best interest for you to get one pretty soon. This is the best $12.87 investment you can make because you will use this calculator for the next minimum of 3.5 years. You will use this same calculator the rest of this year, all of 7th, all of 8th, and all of 9th before you need a new calculator. I'm going to teach you. Okay. So guys, this is where I need you to continue to listen to me, please. Okay. I'm going to be showing you along as we go certain things you can do on this calculator. Like I said, if you don't have yours today, don't worry. I do have 10 that I can sign out tomorrow. It'll be first come, first serve, but remember, it'll help you out so much more. If you have yours at home, you can use too, okay? All right, so let's plug this in. We want 59.3. Your decimal button's down here. Times, 24.9? Okay, and there's your answer. So you have 1,476.57, and that is meters squared. I don't need a comma. I'm okay. Now, decimals at the very bottom. The reason we suggest, or we actually ask you to all get this exact calculator, is when I'm showing you how to do problems on this, when I'm teaching you how to use it, It's so much easier when we all have the same one. Not only that, this is what the middle school teachers use. So you'll be prepared next year when you get to 7th grade. Okay? All right. Any questions on this so far? Okay, now I'm really going to blow your mind. Okay, let's look at our next parallelogram. First line is my formula. What is my base on this parallelogram?
9.5.
Yes, 9 1/2. And what is my height?
5 1/3.
5 1/3. Okay, even if you have your calculator, I want everybody's eyes up here because I'm going to show you how this works. So just put everything down, everybody kind of look. On this calculator, you have a button right here. It's A, it's a capital A, and then B/C. This is your fraction button. You will use it for everything. Yes? She's on her way. You will use this for everything fractions. Okay? So if I want to put this number in as a mixed number, I'm going to do 9 fraction button 1 fraction button 2. That represents 9 1/2 times 5 fraction button 1 fraction button 3. These little things in between mean they're part of a fraction. Once I hit enter, oops, I did something wrong, so let me clear it. Let's try it again. 9 fraction button 1 fraction button 2 times 5 1/3. Okay, once I press enter, see this little half U right here? That's a space. Okay, so what this answer is it means it's 50 2/3. So our answer is 50 2/3. And it's yards squared. The lovely thing about this is, guess what it also did for you? It's simplified. So let me show you, for example, if I were to do 78 over 105, that doesn't really look like a fraction that I'm interested in simplifying, does it?
No.
I hit enter.
Oh my goodness.
It does it for you.
Like a second.
Okay, so back to me. I know you're excited. So this is, we will continue over the next couple of weeks, like learning more and more things we can do with this. But the sooner you can get your calculator, if you don't have it, the better off. Please, please, please make sure when you get yours, you get a Sharpie somewhere and put your name on it, because as you will look around, everybody either has a pink or blue calculator. I've seen one white one today.
I have a white one.
Okay, so make sure that you have your name on it somewhere, okay? All right, I do. We'll get it in a minute, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and look at number 4. Back on task, guys. Back on task. Here we go. Okay, another parallelogram. First thing I write is what?
A equals BH.
Awesome. My formula, A equals BEH. What is my base?
4.
4. Very good. What is my height? 8. Okay, so area is equal to 32 feet squared. Make sure you put that square units. All right, any questions on the top part so far? Just finding the area. It's just base times height. Okay, your height will always be a straight line. Okay, will never be one of these slanted lines. It will always be a straight line, perpendicular.
So, height is always going that way.
Height will always go connect your two bases. That's right. All right, here we go. Let's look at the next part. I like to call these geometric donuts. Okay, we're not going to do anything with circles this year. You'll get to that in 7th grade. But these are going to be some rectangular and parallelogram donuts. I'm only looking for the area of the shaded region. So I want to get rid of this parallelogram that's on the inside. How would I go about doing that? How would I do it?
You find the perimeter of the parallelogram.
I'm going to pause you for 1 second. I'll find the area of
area, and then the area for the square, and
Yep.
then you minus the area from the square.
Perfect. We're going to find the area of our larger shape, which is a rectangle. So area is equal to base times height. And on a rectangle, it doesn't really matter. You can do, let's see, we've got 31 times 18. So my calculator friends, real quick, what's 31 times 18?
558.
558? Okay. So that's 558 millimeters squared. And that's the whole shape. Now I want to get rid of that parallelogram on the inside. So again, it's area equals base times height. What's my base on the inside? 13. And what's my height? 6. So area is equal to, yes, 78 millimeters squared. At this point, what do I need to do? Subtract. Think about it. I am taking away that donut hole. I am taking it away. So in mathematics, we take away things, we subtract. So we've got 558 minus 78. What would that give us? 480. And that's 480 millimeters squared. So this would be the area of just the shaded region, just that little outside part. And this time we flipped it around. This time we have a parallelogram on the outside and a rectangle on the inside. So area is equal to base times height. What is my base on this parallelogram? 21 inches? Okay. What is my height? 12. What if I had a number along with this? Would I use that? That slanted line? No, I'm not going to use that slanted line. Only my height. It's going to be that perpendicular. It makes a right angle. So what's my area of my parallelogram? 232, and that is inches. 252. I'm trusting you guys. 252 inches squared. All right, what about my rectangle? I got to do 7 times 13. Yeah. 91. And that'll be inches squared. So at this point, I'm going to do 252 minus 91. Yes. 161? So 161 inches squared. So what we did, I'll go back and kind of recap that when we went a little fast. Find the area of the outside parallelogram. That was 21 times 12. That gave us 252. Then we found the area of the inside rectangle, 7 times 13. That gave us 91. And then we subtracted the smaller shape from the larger one, which left us with the outside donut part. So 161 inches squared. Not too hard, just an extra step there. Okay? All right, let's look at the last problem real quick. Liam is preparing a 78 square foot plot for a garden. The plot will be in the shape of a parallelogram that has a height of 6 feet. What will the length be of the base of the parallelogram? Now, 78 square feet, that tells me he already knows the area. And he knows the height is 6 feet, but he doesn't know what the base is. We could, but look, let's talk about this for a second. What does this look familiar? Like, what does it look like?
It looks like a formula.
It does look like a formula.
Algebraic
Expression. Well, we're going to go ahead and call it an equation because we've got our equal signs. But yes, an algebraic equation. So we're going to plug in what we know. We know the area is 78. Do we know the base? No. We know the height is 6. So I'm going to call that 6 times b, which is 6b. So for a multiplication equation, how do I undo it?
By division.
Division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. So our base is equal to 13, and that is feet. Do I square that? No, because my area is what's squared. My measurements are just in normal units, since I'm going backwards. Think about when we did on our math workshop today, when we knew the perimeter and we had to subtract to find out what was left. You're doing the opposite. It's the same thing with this. When you know the area and you got to find out what's missing, you're going to go backwards. So you're going to do the opposite, which is division. Okay? On your homework, you guys will be doing the bottom part, 7 through 20, and then 24 and 25. I want you to do this on a sheet of notebook paper. I am sending you, I'm going to go ahead and stop this real quick.